Good afternoon from the Circus Sports of the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. In NFL news, former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel has agreed to become the new offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers, which takes him off the Titans list. McDaniel got fired from Miami after going 35-33 in his 4-year stint as head coach. However, Diana Rossini of The Athletic has reported that if former Giants head coach Brian Daboll does not get the Bills head coaching job, he is expected to land in Tennessee. The Bills did request an interview with Daboll today. Vanderbilt lost their third straight home game last night as they fell to number 20 Arkansas 93-68. The Commodores will have a chance on Saturday to stop their skid as they play at Mississippi State. And lastly, there was also a big upset in college hoops last night as UCLA beat number 4 Purdue 69-67, handing the Boilermakers their second loss of the season. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Last night, it was announced. Looks like Mike McDaniel heading to the Los Angeles Chargers to be with Justin Herbert. And listen, I am so excited just for the press conferences.
Oh,
you know, like the way that Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel are going to interact, the stories that will come out of this, possibly just 1 year of them being together before Mike McDaniel gets a head coaching job, is going to be glorious. Like, we're never going to have a better head coach, offensive coordinator conversation when it comes to the personalities.
So fun, man. Dang, that would have been. Great for the Titans, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we still got Daboll on the docket, so I take that second.
I mean, I started reading up on Brian Daboll.
What are you hearing?
I got some good stuff in here.
You wouldn't have an insight there. We was Alabama.
Well, yeah, but also being an offensive coordinator for a college team is a little bit different.
But it can still give you a little.
It gets you a little insight. I like Brian Daboll. I'm a big Brian Daboll guy.
Things about him.
And listen, the Giant stuff, I get it. Some people just aren't built for the head coaching position. And maybe, kind of like Saleh, maybe it's a little bit of New York, and maybe he'll learn something for his next stint. So I'm not too concerned with like all the drama, ego, all that stuff that happened up in New York. And because, listen, people change, right? People can learn from mistakes. We'll see.
Just like Saleh.
Just like Nagy could have.
That's not
right?
what Ross said.
Yeah. Like all that stuff. So I kind of look at it and go, we'll see. But I like Daboll. We'll talk about Daboll. We'll talk a little bit more about Art Smith, maybe a little bit Cliff Kingsbury, Mike LaFleur, because those guys' names are still attached to the job in some form or fashion. I don't know.
So people saying you hate Daboll.
No, I definitely do not hate Daboll. Marciano is definitely wrong on that one. Listen, let me tell you something.
What made him think that?
I don't know. I loved Brian Daboll as an offensive coordinator for the Bills and obviously offensive coordinator for Alabama. If you want to see what my hate face looks like, just mention Tommy. Yeah, mention Tommy Reese.
I know.
Mention Bill O'Brien in Alabama. Like some of those guys, those are guys that you can mention Kalen DeBoer. That'd be another one that I'm on the verge of hating right now. But I'm willing to at least give Kalen DeBoer a chance to build his team recruiting-wise, and maybe the vision comes to fruition. Did you by chance, speaking of Brian Daboll, did you by chance see what the Bills did today?
I saw a lot of people talking about the presser.
Wild.
Why? Oh.
Well, let's get into that. What did they say?
Okay, so first, I guess Keon Coleman got brought up.
Yeah. Who's still on the roster, by the way.
Yes. So he's on the roster.
Would you trade for me for the Titans before we get started?
No. He is. I didn't want the Titans to draft him. There are people that wanted the Titans to draft him in the first round. I I didn't see it, but that's for me. But
what? You didn't like him? You didn't stab the rope? No,
did not like Keon Coleman. He was a terrible contested catcher.
Really?
Yeah, and see, that's what people think. People see the big highlight catches from his days at Florida State, and they're like, oh man, great, one-on-one jump ball specialist and all that stuff. And then when you start diving into the film, you see those are very few and far between. Can't get separation.
I wonder why. But you could be a big, tall guy. Isn't he tall? He's tall. I remember scouting him. He's like 6'2", right, or something?
Yeah, he should be better than what he is.
I'm going to get you to change your mind.
Okay.
When you go watch his high school highlight basketball game. And you'll talk about the contested catches, except when he's 360 and spinning in the air in high school and dunking, because the guy actually is athletic enough to be an NBA player.
Oh, super athletic guy. I'm not saying that he's not athletic. I don't know where the disconnect is, and it
could be something in between the years.
Yeah.
But when you go watch that, you go, well, dang, I'm not seeing quite this.
Right.
On the football field.
Maybe he needs to go back to basketball. 615-737-1045 if you want to get in.
Wiggle, in three-point range. But the guy was a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
He was at Michigan State first, and then he transferred. So
I'm not saying that he's not a good athlete. He is built and plays like Tarzan, or he's built and should be like Tarzan, but plays like Jane.
Dang.
It is, and it's all over the tape. Now, you have these moments, these highlight reel catches from Keon Coleman. Now we're getting into Keon Coleman draft prospect. But you have it, you see them, and then you're like, where is this every time? He had one of the worst contested catch rates in his class. And you're like, but I've seen these videos and these highlights, and then when you dive into all 22, you see, maybe
separation was there before.
Yeah, concentration would be, I just don't know.
Reason. When they were suspending him, and something is odd here going on there. We're missing, that they saw once they had him. And that was, and then when he dressed, he actually produced a little bit anyway, at least towards the end.
Because you see it like in some of the Buffalo games, you'll see him make this spectacle. You're like, that's the guy that we thought you could be, but then you don't see it for the rest of the things. It's kind of like A.D. Mitchell a little bit.
Is he a ding-dong?
I don't know much about him, but to say that he's a ding-dong, but
when I say that, I'm talking about like he's kind of airy and kind of not focused.
I think so.
Because the guy doesn't seem like a bad guy. Yeah. I don't feel that at all.
I would say that like his press conferences tend to have like a lot of levity to them, and they go viral. And they go viral probably for a little bit of the wrong things. Xavier Leggette's kind of that way. And then, but A.D. Mitchell's not. But like, I kind of put all those guys into like, you have all the talent in the world. You have the size, you have the athleticism, the play strength. Why does it not show up consistently? And see, that's the key. Like, you can have all that stuff, and you just maybe you don't have the ability to put it all together.
The mental
I don't want to call anybody lazy or anything, because I don't know their work ethic.
In the coaching realm, just like Brian Callahan. You had all the nice resume. You should be a good play caller. You should be prepared to be a head coach, but for whatever reason, you kind of tighten up on game day. Maybe that's what happens to Keon Coleman.
He didn't tighten up, that's for sure.
I would trade a 5th-round pick for him.
Now, I could be possibly talked into a 5th. A 6 probably is what he's probably a little bit more worth, but I mean, you could probably get him for cheap right now.
That's what I'm here's
why.
Off the field.
Because, I mean.
So let's get into the presser.
Let's talk about this presser where the owner has thrown the entire staff, the coaching staff, under the bus for the Keon Coleman pick. Yeah. And you know what everybody's done? Everybody's pulled all the I was about to call him Joe Shane, all the Brandon Bean clips of him talking about Keon Coleman with no coaching staff in the room, and how much he loves Keon Coleman, and he's glad that he ran a 4.57 at the combine, up in the press box at the combine or the suite. He says, "I'm glad because that means that maybe we can get him in the second round." No coaching staff is around him telling him to say that. So everybody's pulled all these clips of Brendan Bean saying that, who just got promoted. But they're also talking about...
he was supporting the coaches. The coaches really wanted him, I thought.
Maybe. That's what they said. That's what they tried to push it off
That's why I try to tell you guys here, quit believing what people say. Go get verification on your own, because people always want the narrative to skew the way they want it.
I don't know what they were going through. Because why are you also throwing a player under the bus that's still under contract, that's on the team, saying, well, we don't want him. The owner, I fired someone because they wanted you. And, this GM who I just promoted to president of football operations, he didn't want you. He was too weak-willed to make his own decision, so he just let the coach. He's going to say the coaches made that decision.
And that's why I said I would trade. Where does the Titans have a late-round pick where they got 2 picks in the same
probably
round?
Probably 6th round, I think.
Okay, I'd give a 6 for him.
Yeah.
Look,
I definitely would. I'd roll the dice on it.
Buffalo Bills typically good organization. Awful week.
Good organization
Yes.
when they don't speak.
Awful week. Between like the McDermott
Firing.
quote with the typo and everything. I mean, between what the owner, Terry Pagula, said about McDermott being like, hey, we fired him because of the Broncos game. I don't know about y'all. I didn't come away from that game being like, Sean McDermott should get fired from that game. Like, what?
Okay.
Well, maybe he didn't go into he maybe meant because we couldn't get past
He
that
did
round.
say there was a playoff wall, but I'm like, if this is the game that decides it, like, come on.
I
man.
thought it was more Josh Allen.
You say the Bills are a good organization. I would say that Sean McDermott made them a better organization.
When he got there.
And Josh
when he got
Allen.
there.
No doubt.
Because they only had one winning season from 2005
Yep, he put
to
him back on the map.
2016.
He put him back on the
one
map.
winning
He
season.
Yeah, I meant
back
more
on the
like,
map.
recently.
Right.
Yeah, recently, but that's because they fired the guy that probably hid all this stuff because we never really hear from the ownership. Again, this is why ownership rarely
exactly.
speaks. And I know everybody's like, where is she? Talking about Amy Adams Strunk, but like,
Yeah, every
This is the
organization
reason.
is not like Jerry Jones.
yeah. But like, they may have fired. This is worse than when the Titans fired Vrabel. Because I know everybody likes to talk about, the Titans should have fired Vrabel.
Right.
This feels way worse than that.
Oh, yeah. Because Vrabel had a losing record, not in the second round.
Yeah.
The playoff.
I mean, this is crazy. And then for them to throw and do that, and then for them to say that basically if Josh Allen had, the way that Terry Pagula describes it, is that if Josh Allen hadn't cried and that call had went a different way, Sean McDermott wouldn't got fired. So you're not firing him for his actual work, his job on the field. He's a maniac behind the scenes. You're firing him because you saw Josh Allen get emotional and because of that one play.
What is their fan base saying about McDermott here with his firing?
Well, I feel like their fan base right now was like, okay, I saw a lot of people and a lot of people I respect say, okay, maybe it's just that time to go. Like it happens.
Kind of like with Andy Reid with the Eagles.
That was when he initially got fired. Now it's like, oh, crap.
Because the timing of it is, okay, well, first of all, you should have a punch list of who you going after before you even fire him.
Yeah.
Who can we get better?
Yeah. And like they're interviewing, so they blame the staff for Keon. Here's where it gets me going.
Ooh, I know.
They blame the staff for Keon Coleman, but they're interested in interviewing Joe Brady, who was on staff, who you just blamed for Keon Coleman.
Well, desperate times, desperate measures.
Let me say this: it couldn't have came at a better time for Brian Daboll. Like, if you're Brian Daboll right now and you're the Tennessee Titans, you're thinking, okay, there's no way Brian Daboll. If Brian Daboll's walking into that, it means that he's really desperate for a head coaching job. But is that the job you want to get? You never want to be the guy that follows the guy. Just ask Kalen DeBoer. And Sean McDermott's the guy. Like, there is no doubt about that. Sean McDermott's the guy.
But he was on staff with him, right?
He was on staff. But, I mean, you're going to follow that?
Oh, I think he would feel more comfortable with owners he knows.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know this ownership group right now.
The perspective from a head coach is always much different than us as normal fans looking at it. I think they know it's only so many opportunities you're going to get that opportunity to be a head coach. And his little run there with the Giants was not great. So who else is going to give him an opportunity to be a head coach? See, so as right as you are, he's going to look at it like, I may not ever get another shot.
Yeah.
See, even though he's following the guy. Sometimes you got to, hit your wagon to something maybe and maybe it's going to go downhill, but you sure want to say, I gave it a shot.
I know you don't want to bet on certain stuff. Now, listen, the jobs that maybe come up in next year are probably not as attractive because none of them have Josh Allen. Yeah. But I am kind of thinking if I'm Brian Daboll, the Bucs job may open up next year. He's kind of on the hot seat, and it's playing a game, right? You're playing a game.
You think they'll be interested in me?
Maybe. Hey, listen, they're interested in Brian Callahan calling plays.
That might have been a favor to an agent. I don't know.
I know he's getting a second interview today.
I know. I could not believe
kicker?
that. Oh, my gosh. Good for him.
I guess you just wonder if the Bill, like, and again, not saying this is the right decision, but if they're worried that their Super Bowl window is closing with Josh Allen starting to get older, even though he's not that old, he's 29, but like maybe they felt like that was the change they needed. I don't know. Not my problem. I'm not a Bills fan, but it seems like
I can't believe they're not setting
a wild
stuff
move.
on fire, breaking tables.
Well, they probably right now letting the table industry catch up to them.
Dang it. Oh, man, that was great, man, just to see that presser.
Man, that was – and listen, this is their national – this is why I don't care about Amy Adams-Strunk speaking. And not because Amy Adams-Strunk doesn't know ball or, Terry Pagula knows so much more than everybody else. It just rarely works out. That's why, Jeff Lurie really doesn't, get out there and speak a lot. You saw Steve Bisciotti, he just spoke for the first time since, 2017? Maybe even longer than that. Mm-hmm. I think we're okay with that. Now, entertainment purposes.
Yeah, for us on the
But for information purposes, it really doesn't matter.
And when it's your team, no. All
right, coming up next, we'll go to Luke and Derek because we got see Derek is a lifelong Bills fan, so we'll get some good information from him. We'll talk more about Brian Daboll and the offensive coordinator position for the Tennessee Titans. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
Yeehaw!
Yo, it's Zach Lyons. If you wear glasses, you already know the struggle. I'm constantly looking for them, waking up blind without them, knocking them off the nightstand. Don't even get me started on vacations. Swimming? Forget it. Fogging up, smudges, scratches. My whole day revolves around these things so that I can see. And the truth is, I've been dealing with blurry vision for years. Glasses help, but they're also a hassle. And lately, I have been seriously thinking there has to be a better way. That's when I started hearing from colleagues here at Cumulus who had vision correction done by Dr. Horn at Vision for Life. And every single one of them said the same thing. They wish they had done it sooner. So I did my homework, I read the reviews, and decided it was time. I'm going to have my vision corrected by Dr. Horn, and I'll walk you guys through the experience step by step before, during, and after. If you're tired of dealing with glasses, contacts, or blurry vision, don't keep putting it off. Call Vision for Life at 615-436-2020 or visit visionforlife.com to schedule your consultation. I'll keep you posted, and trust me, I'm excited to finally see clearly. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door and broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports in Kentucky Downs. And we lost our lifelong Bills fan. If you're the lifelong Bills fan, call back because we want to talk to you. But let's go to Luke.
He said I got to go jump and
break
the table.
You're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, what's up, guys? So what do y'all think between Daboll and who's the other one? Kingsbury, right?
Yes.
Cliff Kingsbury? Okay. Because my thought is I know Daboll is very well proven, but, you know, he's been such in that coach mindset that do you think he would, you know, want to take a step back and you know, be comfortable as OC with Saleh as his boss? I mean, he just seems like a really headstrong dude. I don't know how well they would get along versus like a Cliff Kingsbury or somebody else. But just want to get y'all's thoughts on that and what other candidates y'all would be okay with. And I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
We're going to kind of talk about a couple of these candidates and everything, but I will say that today the report that came out from Diana Rossini, and I'm about to pull it up if I can get to it, that I think tells a lot about where.
Didn't he say if he doesn't get the head job, he was going to take the Titans?
So we got to break this down, right? Because so it says the Eagles are conducting their offensive coordinator search with the understanding that Brian Daboll wants the Bills head coaching job. If he doesn't land it, Daboll is expected to wind up in Tennessee as the offensive coordinator for Cam Ward and the Titans, per sources. Doesn't say he will. Just says expected, which kind of you can do that if you want to. You can say will. But that's what it says. Now, Brian Daboll has been a pretty strong name floating out there. The Tennessee Titans interviewed him for head coaching. It's been kind of tied to, they both have worked together. They didn't work together, but they worked in the same area for 3 years. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, Giants and Jets. I did kind of wonder if this was a ploy also by the Eagles to maybe put a little fine. Like, okay, if you're going to go interview for the Bills and you don't take that job, this job may not be waiting for you if you don't make a decision quick. I wondered if that was a little bit of that. Like the Eagles are kind of like, well, we're moving on because we expect you, because we know you're not, you know, like they're interested, but they're trying to be, trying to feign disinterest to hopefully get interest, if that makes sense.
This stuff just kills me with all this agent leveraging coaches. Yeah. I'm not a real big fan of it. Just trying to take a guess at it. I would think it's the Eagles not trying to feel like they're second fiddle to anybody.
Yeah, that could be.
Number one. And then number two, maybe Daboll's trying to get leverage because he wants them to come up a little bit on that price tag.
Maybe.
Whether it's the Eagles or the Titans. He wins either way. If it was me, I'd probably want to try to coach a guy that I know and I understand who he is and what he can do and what he is not capable of doing. That's Hurts. So he coached him in college. So that would probably favor a little bit more to me instead of the unknown, which when you're working with Cam, which he's never worked with. So, but you just don't know. He may want to say, oh, I know what he is and I don't like it. So I want to go here. These coaches never tell you what they really are thinking. So I don't know how to take it. Besides, if he doesn't get the job, he's going to be open to one of these two jobs as an OC. And I'm hoping he could be a good OC if we do get him.
I think there is an opportunity, definitely, that would work out. My biggest question about the Brian Daboll hiring would be, okay, who's behind him?
Oh, who is he?
Because it's likely a 1 year.
It's likely a 1 year deal. I mean, we see him getting head coach interviews. I think has he gotten more than two? Has he only gotten the Titans and the Bills?
We'll look that up.
I
haven't seen much about him, honestly.
I think it's just Titans and Bills. And so I think it was just, I think, I'm not sure. But if that's the case, maybe there's a lot of stuff that went on behind the scenes of the Giants that the league is kind of privy to. Mm-hmm. And maybe maybe you can keep Brian Daboll for maybe 2 years. Maybe he needs to go through a little rehab.
Said there about him being kind of a hard-nosed. I mean, you would know him a little bit better.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I mean, I also think there's a difference between being a hard-nosed OC and a hard-nosed head coach. And I do think there is a difference between the two, because with a head coach, you got to be a little bit more. There's just so many different players, employees, front office members, staff members inside the building, and all that kind of stuff. And with OC, you're a little bit more stay in your lane kind of deal. A little bit. You're not having to touch so much, and you're not having to be stressed out about as much as you are as a head coach, all the little things and all that stuff that has to go through with it. He is hard-nosed. I don't think it's anything that has ever been an issue, to my understanding, when he was working with Sean McDermott.
No,
I don't remember anything
until you was with the
Giants.
Saban.
Nothing of when he worked for Bill Belichick. I mean, you worked for McDermott, Saban, Bill Belichick. He became his temperament, I would say, became a problem when he was the main guy. Well, now he wouldn't be the main guy.
Well, there's pressure that goes with when you're in the New York area. And by the way, when he goes in the tent, I'm wondering how this parlays and tries to tell the quarterback to get back in there when he got concussed. I'm just wondering how that plays out, because if I can recall, I could be wrong on this, Ross, though. Did he get fined for that?
For the blue tent situation?
Yeah. Or putting him back into the game. Because the NFL is kind of making a hard stance on stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like he was forced to go back. But so I'm just wondering if that where the hard nose started, right there.
Yeah.
Just on that one episode of.
Well, and then of course he gets fired, and then you hear all the anonymous quotes come out, and then of course we know how that goes. There's never good anonymous quotes to come out after a fire.
I never like you knew all this information the whole time. I mean, why didn't you just say something?
Right.
Oh, bark, 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 you coward.
So it would be interesting to see. I'm not saying this is the likelihood of happening, but because there's so many offensive coordinator positions, but take for example, everything that we heard about New York after he got fired, after Brian Daboll got fired. I guess I need to specify which one got fired from New York, since they both did. But Brian Daboll got fired, right? If Mike Kafka does not get an offensive coordinator job and lands on this staff, then does that kind of eliminates most of the stuff that was said, because most of the stuff was about him yelling at Mike Kafka, and then there was stuff about him yelling at Wink Martindale, which Wink Martindale is notoriously hard to get along with no matter the stop. He's got that reputation already. But when you have a bunch...
He's defensive guy, right?
He's defensive guy, Don Martindale.
A lot of those defensive guys like that.
Like that. So, for me, I don't know. I understand why fans would be a little concerned with Brian Daboll because of those stories that came out of the New York Giants, but you weren't that concerned about Robert Saleh being your head coach and all those stories coming out of the New York Jets. I don't know. The anonymous quotes, the more I've been with you, Blaine, the more I'm like, okay, I hear them, I understand them, I know what you're talking about, but is that the person? Is that the story? Is that the right picture being painted? It's really hard for me to say.
No doubt.
Well, also, and I know we haven't talked about Jeff on Bussin' that much, but based on his words yesterday on Bussin', is it really a bad thing if Daboll's hard-nosed and we get him? Couldn't we use some of that in our facility, quite honestly?
And I think Cam Ward could take it. I don't know that he can. I said that I think he probably could. But also, it hasn't... Brian Daboll was there for Josh Allen throughout his whole basically growth into the MVP quarterback that we see today. And I don't remember any blow-ups and harshness between Josh Allen and Brian Daboll.
Never.
In fact, that's why he got the head coaching job.
That's because he was in the booth.
Maybe so. So just keep him up in the booth.
He was in the booth. He was, they never went to him, when he was deadpan and what is Josh Allen doing?
But also when you are kind of raised in the coaching ranks in the Bill Belichick style, you are kind of going to be a little bit of a hard-nosed, abrasive guy.
It's natural.
It's just natural. That's how most of those guys are. I just don't think it's as big as a worry that it needs to be for Titans
I'm with
fans.
you on that.
If there were more credible stories, over time, then you'd be but there's really,
and
there's
again,
minor stuff.
The stories are from him being a head coach.
Yeah.
towards the end of this season,
Right.
Which it's easy to say.
which is easy to say.
Because he saw the ear and ear. He started getting frustrated. Oh, my gosh, man, you're going to get me fired. That's what he's really thinking.
Right. So, like, I understand, yes, it should be on your radar.
Get him back out of there. Take him out of the tent.
But we
I
also
need to win.
Right.
Put him down behind the barn.
Put him right back here. We're going to run a quarterback draw.
But we also heard none of this when he was with Buffalo. Now, if
never heard
the
any of
long-term Buffalo Bills fan wants to call back in and tell us a little bit differently, we'll do it.
Ooh, I want to know.
Let's go to Titanomics in Murfreesboro. Phone calls coming in, 615-737-1045. Titanomics, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Ross called all his friends.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey, good afternoon.
Quick, I want to switch gears a little bit and ask about tight ends because we're going to need some veteran tight end presence with Chig leaving. So, best available, I got Travis Kelce, if he doesn't retire, David Njoku, Dallas Goddard, however you say his name,
Goddard.
or Kyle Pitts. Who would you take out of them if they choose to come here? I know they're all unrestricted free agents.
Thanks. You're definitely a fan of the show since you couldn't get Dallas Goddard's last name
I was
right.
going to
Just
say,
like
that was
us.
the biggest shock of the
Just
call. Blaine nailed it.
Blaine nailed it. I would go Dallas Goddard, though. I think he's the more complete of all of them, and I'm not really interested in Travis Kelce's swan song and being. Listen, I've seen Algie Crumpler here. I've seen Andre Johnson here. I've seen Randy Moss here. We don't need another old guy.
They should have played tight end, huh?
No, maybe. Well, Algie Crumpler did. He should just held on to the ball.
I will say this. I'm right there with you on agreement on that player, Goddard. I would also still be open more. Number one is Chig.
Yes.
Coming back. So that would be, he would be number one. But Goddard is definitely a proven player in this league, solid player too. Depends on the price. How high are you going to go, being a compliment to Gunnar Ham.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're at.
And once we find out the OC, that will also change maybe how much I really want to invest in the tight end position.
Because you may not be using the tight end very
much. Yeah. So, I would definitely say, though, for me, I wouldn't rule out Chig returning right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that he may not return, but they may choose to extend him. They can extend him at any point right now. Can extend him.
I like having versatile pieces at these positions too. Like Chig and Gunnar have different skill sets. Chig is a more movable piece, probably better route runner. Gunnar probably better pure hands. Like receivers or running backs, if you have a power back, it'd be nice to have a change of pace back as well. So I don't see why we would let go of Chig, but money is a thing, so it can be complicated.
Yep. Let's go to.
I agree with that.
Let's go to Kevin. Kevin, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Talking about Daboll, I think y'all need to look a little bit further into the past, man. This guy is a head coach killer. If you look at him, he rides the coattails of the greatest quarterback of all time, and Tom Brady at the Patriots, parlays that eventually into a quarterback coach job at the New York Jets with Eric Mangini, where Brett Favre is his quarterback. He gets canned because Brett Favre underachieves with the Jets, going 9-7. So he gets hired by Romeo Crennel and follows him around, gets him canned at the Cleveland Browns with the 32nd ranked offense. Then he goes with Tony Sparano, who was a previous Coach of the Year candidate with the Dolphins. So what does he do? He gets Tony Sparano canned in the Dolphins. So where does Daboll go after that? He goes right back with Romeo Crennel and the Kansas City Chiefs for a 2-win season and gets Romeo Crennel canned again. He does so spectacularly bad that he has to go back and be a position coach for 3 years, back with his daddy and Bill Belichick and Patriots. Then he goes to one of the most loaded Alabama Roll Tide offenses and teams that you'd ever see in college football. So if you look at him and you say, okay, well, Daboll's going to hang his hat on the fact that he's got this Josh Allen magical 3 seasons where he puts on the cape. But here's the problem with the Josh Allen thing. Josh Allen continued to get better whenever Daboll left. Josh Allen eventually turned into an MVP quarterback. Are you really saying his entire career is because of this magical thing, and we're not sure that Josh Allen isn't just actually turning it within himself to be a great quarterback? Well, let me throw this down for you. Whenever Josh Allen didn't put his cape on and had those seasons with Daboll, this is Daboll's offenses in the NFL. Ranked 32nd, ranked 28th, ranked 22nd, ranked 24th, ranked 30th, ranked 24th, ranked 32nd, ranked 28th, ranked 23rd. That's it.
Well, who would you recommend? Just real quick, who would you recommend that's available?
At this point, I truly would love to know what happened with Bobby Slowick at this point with D'Amico Ryans. It makes no sense for whatever happened with him and Ryans because they were supposedly really good friends. Mm-hmm. But you can see the downfall that happened with C.J. Stroud once Slowick left. Mm-hmm. That's another person that's come over, and he's been with Saleh over in 49ers. Part of that tree. Slowick spent this past year with the Dolphins.
One quick last question I wanted to ask you. This is a little off the cuff a little bit. If I told you that Mike Vrabel was the 32nd ranked defensive coordinator for 1 year and he was hired the next year as the head coach, what would you have done?
Oh, man. Well, first of all,
because that is a true statement.
I'd be worried.
That happened.
It is a true statement. And that worry was justified because he turned around once he got rid of Dean Pease. Then he had another historically bad defense when it was.
Yeah, that's true.
Jim Schwartz is the real reason why that turned around there.
Got you. Okay, cool. Good stuff.
All right.
So how are you going to break him down here, Mr. Daboll?
Well,
I didn't hear a lot of good head coaches named.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Can we go through?
Romeo Cornell. I mean, funny that they hired him again.
Eric Mangini.
Romeo Cannell's been fired from jobs. And Romeo Cannell has been fired from jobs without Brian Daboll existing on his staff.
Man, come on.
And then he's blaming him for the Jets, which is 2007 to 2008, which again is Eric Mangini. So Eric Mangini, I guess, is the reason that also he followed him to Cleveland. So Brady Quinn, Colt McCoy were his quarterbacks in Cleveland with a little bit of Seneca Wallace.
Horrible. It's his fault.
Derek Anderson was there in Cleveland with Eric Mangini, who has turned out to not be that great of a coach.
Oh.
And Tony Sparano, I don't mean to speak ill of those that are not with us any longer, but he was not a good head coach.
Yeah.
And we've seen that in multiple stops, even when he was an interim head coach. And he had Matt Moore and Chad Henne as his quarterbacks down in Miami. And then he had Matt Castle at Kansas City the year before they got Alex Smith. So he
didn't have a lot to work with.
Come on. Are we... And then for him to dismiss that he was with Josh Allen in 2018, his rookie year, 2019, 2020, and 2021.
And how much I want you to look this up, how much did his accuracy increase? Because he was a big arm guy. And that was the stick that, he can't throw. He's not accurate, but he's a great deep ball guy. He not only did the coach, but Josh Allen, let's give him his props, continue to work on his game and continue to evolve. First of all, your quarterback and OC have to identify these are the things you work on, and it's up to the player to actually work on them. And he got better at that the entire way.
Okay, 52.8% completion percentage as a rookie. Then he went 58.8% as a sophomore.
Ooh,
then in 2020, he jumped up to 69.2%. Not only that.
69?
69.2. Nice.
Dang.
And not only that, the completion percentage over expected, that means that he completed more passes than what he should have made, was third best in the NFL in 2020.
Had nothing to do with that.
And then in 2021, 63.3. And he was going 4,500 pass yards, 4,400 pass yards those last 2 years. In fact, his highest success rate was with Brian Daboll, 56.5% in 2020, which is an unheard of high number for that.
It was McDermott.
He got better, but only because the development and the foundation of his first 4 years is what mattered. Yeah. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? And I mean, that just using Eric Mangini and Tony Sparano and Romeo Cornell and 2 stints of Eric Mangini, those guys just aren't good head coaches. It's not because they hired Brian Daboll.
Those are tough situations, too, by the way, with what he was working with.
I didn't mean to interrupt, too. I wasn't trying to be rude, but when he talked about the Jets underachieving with Favre when Daboll was the QB coach, because he tore his bicep, and then they went 1-4, after he got hurt. I mean, but yeah, Josh Allen, grew a lot with Daboll over time. It completely changed his throwing mechanics, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't mainly
not
on
all
Daboll.
Daboll, but
he
helps
went to his
out.
quarterback coach,
Yeah.
but he still had to identify these are the things you need to work on. Some players can't identify what they need to work on. They think that, I'm doing a great job.
Unbelievable.
I mean, just because you can
what
throw
was
the
that guy's name?
Right, because he can throw it to the
I
moon,
forgot.
by the way.
Yeah, just because you can throw it doesn't mean the offense is going to be successcill. I mean, we've seen Jay Cutler. No offense.
Oh, Jay Cutler was a good quarterback. What you talking
And
about?
listen, I love Bobby Slowick, but I mean, I don't love Bobby Slowick, but I mean, Bobby Slowick would be a great hire for offensive coordinator, but like using Eric Mangini, Tony Sperano, and Romy Cornell as examples that he's a head coach killer, and then totally ignoring that he didn't kill off Nick Saban, he didn't kill off Sean McDermott. Like, come on. All right. He didn't kill off Bill Belichick. Well, come on. All right. Coming up next, we'll get to more of your phones. 615-737-1045. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
Coach Killer.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors, 615-737-1045. We have an accusation in the chat that we just got off the phone with Bobby Sloak, sports agent.
That's
who that was.
Okay, I got you. I wasn't sure though. I thought it was some insider
I'm just looking at this
information
list.
going on.
I'm just thinking Eric Mangini has gone. He's a 33-47 head coach. He hasn't coached in the NFL since 2015.
Yeah, he's been trying to get back in for a minute. He finally gave
It's all
up.
Brian Daboll's fault.
You can catch him on TV though.
Yeah,
every now and then.
All right, let's go to Richard in Springfield. Richard, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
What's going on, Richard?
We have our nominees for the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinators nominations because we have the nominations for the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinators. And the first nominee is Mike McDaniel, who works for Minnesota right now, and Vance Joseph for the Denver Broncos. If the Broncos loses, Vance Joseph will be the offensive coordinator. And if the Patriots loses, Josh McDaniels will be our Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Josh McDaniels is an interesting name. I don't know if the Patriots are going to let. The Patriots may not let him make that parallel
Never
move.
know.
Maybe Mike Vrabel
didn't want him.
Yeah.
Vrabel didn't want him to grab
Mike Vrabel may let him make a lateral move
To Tennessee
to make sure he can get Todd Downing in that position or Tim Kelly. But Bob Kraft may not let him make that move.
Now, Vance Joseph, is he on
As defensive coordinator, I think is what he meant.
man.
Mike Pettin is an interesting name. I can't I don't think. I know Hathley has crossed paths with Pettin. I need to go back and check if Salah did or Salah.
Yeah,
Salah did.
Salah had a salad.
Yeah, I know. I need to make sure on that, but I don't know if they did because there was a lot of guys on Mike when I was doing the head coaching search and doing all that. A lot of guys were on Mike Pettin's staff. Mike Pettin and Cleveland Browns have one of the best defensive staffs you'll ever. It was like Anthony Weaver, Jeff Hathley, is like a bunch of guys.
Really?
Yeah. You ever go back and look at some staffs and you're like, how could you possibly fail as an organization?
It's like he's been in the NFC North since 2018.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought. I didn't think that they.
I don't think there's any solid crossover in there.
But yeah, I mean, look, I'd be all for Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator for sure. I just don't know if after the season
Sometimes
you've
we
had.
dream.
I mean, do you if you're Bob Kraft, are you really going to let him go? Yeah. I don't know about that one. I still can't get over Eric Mangini, Tony Sperano, Romy Cornell
You're gonna
having
have
their
to at some
careers
point.
ruined
I know,
by
boys.
Brian Daboll.
What if Eric Mangini just got on TV today and he was like, I'd still be in the league coaching if it wasn't for Brian Daboll.
That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd
be hilarious timing right there. Maybe he's Eric Mangini's agent. I don't know. All right, let's go to Adrian. Adrian, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Yo, Adrian.
Yo, what's up? How y'all doing today?
What's up?
Man, it's been a pretty interesting show so far. Hey, just on a tight end, I would take Darren Waller. I think he would be a nice if we don't re-sign Chig. But I got a trade proposition for y'all, and I want to get y'all opinion on it.
Okay.
We do a swap with the Eagles for the first round pick and bring AJ back home.
What pick is it?
I'm
Are
going to
the
get y'all
Eagles?
thought on that. It don't matter. We get AJ back.
Oh,
gotcha.
But I was just listening to y'all. I just wanted to know.
A lot of people are talking about AJ.
You know,
Brown to the Bills. That's what they're talking about.
23rd pick right now, I believe, is what the Eagles hold.
Where are the Bills?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The
I don't have the whole thing.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
Bills are 26.
Okay, I knew they were.
But he was talking about us swapping
No,
picks,
I know
right?
he did. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the rumors that AJ Brown's going to go to the Bills.
I just don't really know if that's going to happen or not. I'll be very interested to see if that actually happens. I think he's actually going to just stay.
Well, I think they have some. I know we don't talk about cap, but there's some serious cap ramifications there for the Eagles. So I don't know if they'll be able to do a trade where it benefits them unless it's for a first or a second round pick. So maybe I don't see it. I think they're going to go one more year with a new coordinator and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because there's something to why he was the way he was.
Yeah, and maybe it's just Kevin Patullo. Maybe that solves everything.
I don't know if he likes Sirianni, though. I mean, I have no idea, but just from some videos you see.
Here's how that happens. If he is the head coach, he needs to put him in line, or he should be calling the plays. See, that's why it manifests to the head coach. See that? Yeah, he's pissed off about what we're running, and they're not, these design plays aren't good. So, yeah, that's what happens. The player then go fix it, and then he's not fixing it.
All right. We'll get more of your phone calls, 615-737-1045, as we're talking Titans offensive coordinator. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
30 mil. Well, naturally, the new year has begun, and you have your New Year's resolution is that you're going to try to lose some LBs. And naturally, you want to go with the best in that approach. And the approach for weight loss at Edge Peptide Hormone Therapy is a little bit different. We make sure all patients have extensive lab work and face-to-face conversations in office with your nurse practitioner to create a customized treatment plan tailored to your specific needs. They use only U.S.-based FDA-audited compounding pharmacies because knowing where your peptides come from always matters. You also get to enjoy access to their in-body scanner to track weight loss and make sure you're maintaining all that muscle mass that you have accumulated, of course. And then you also get to lower your A1C, keeping your cravings in check, prioritizing protein, and having someone guide your journey from start to finish. So call the team at Edge Peptide for all of your wellness questions at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878. Or you can check them out online at edgepeptide.com.
Good afternoon from the Circus Sports of the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Ross Johnston. In NFL news, former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel has agreed to become the new offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers, which takes him off the Titans list. McDaniel got fired from Miami after going 35-33 in his 4-year stint as head coach. However, Diana Rossini of The Athletic has reported that if former Giants head coach Brian Daboll does not get the Bills head coaching job, he is expected to land in Tennessee. The Bills did request an interview with Daboll this morning. Vanderbilt lost their third straight game last night as they fell to number 20 Arkansas, 93-68. The Commodores will have a chance on Saturday to stop their 3-game skid as they play at Mississippi State. And lastly, there was a big upset in college hoops that occurred last night as UCLA beat number 4 Purdue 69-67, handing the Boilermakers their second loss of the season. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We were talking about the Buffalo Bills and their exciting press conference earlier today, and Louis Riddick has decided to weigh in, and I thought this was a very interesting little thing.
I saw you send it to
The
me.
3 legs of team building. 1, scouting and evaluation. Valuation and selection is number 2. And then development and utilization, number 3. It's all intertwined. And number 3, development and utilization, is the most critical. That's why coaches make the money they do. Don't get it twisted. So if you are going to criticize a guy and his staff for the lack of development and utilization of one guy, in reference to Keon Coleman, you better give him and his staff the credit for the development and utilization of the others. Otherwise, you're just looking for someone to blame. Simple as that. And then
Somebody who worked in the scouting department, by the way.
He knows. But interviewed for a lot of GM positions, has never gotten
as
one.
well as a player.
Also,
He was a player.
Interesting, just some separate minor news. 49ers GM John Lynch was asked about Brandon Aiyuk and just said that he thinks he played his last snaps in San Francisco. So potential free agent wide receiver.
For another team that doesn't have Mike Berganzi as their GM.
Yeah. Just NFL news.
Yeah, just
if you're
NFL
intrigued.
news in general.
Not for us. Don't get excited.
Berganzi would entertain that?
I don't know. He doesn't like drama surrounding his players, and we don't know the whole story of the Brandon Aiyuk thing, but there is obviously drama, whether that's San Francisco's side causing the drama, the coaching staff, or the player.
Well, guess who would know? Saleh.
Saleh would know. Saleh would know. See? That would be a good point.
I feel like it's more likely that a different 49ers receiver ends up here instead of Brandon Aiyuk.
Now you're talking about Juwan Jennings?
Yes.
Could be.
Never know.
Could be. Or else go to the phones. 615-737-1045 is the number. First off, by the way, before I take that, I would love Brandon Aiyuk here. I think he is, I know he is coming off an injury, but I think he is, the prior years when he was healthy, the way that Kyle Shanahan utilized him in that offense, and I think I always thought he was a little bit better than Debo. Debo was more of an athlete.
As a receiver, for sure.
But as a receiver, I thought Brandon Aiyuk was legit.
Yeah, that's why
I would love Brandon Aiyuk here.
I would love to learn what was the real issue, or was it he just kind of went off the rails there?
Yeah.
Nobody really had anything. So I'd love to get, only Saleh would know, or he definitely would know, talking to the, the coaching staff and everything else after he got paid, actually. Really. So, I don't know.
We'll see. Let's go to Patrick. Patrick here on Blaine and Zach.
I like taking risks, though.
Patrick?
Hello?
You there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Aiyuk.
Yeah, I was just going to throw 3 names out there and see what y'all thought. You could also bring these 3 in with Daboll, and then you'd have 3 people in waiting, or you could bring these 3 in and have 2 in waiting in case one of them gets hired. But, of course, Slowick everybody's brought up Slowick here lately. But what would y'all think about Thomas Brown and T. Martin? Bringing one of them in as the running backs coach, T. Martin as QB coach.
Those are
what
some.
would y'all's thought be on that?
Listen, those are some interesting names throughout there. T. Martin's been with the Ravens for the last few years. Thomas Brown has kind of floated around, but he got his start with the Rams, and that's where the system he grew up in. He's obviously over at the Patriots right now and part of that staff after being. Talk about a coach killer. Now, I'm not putting all the blame on Thomas Brown, but the last two times he's been in an offensive coordinator position was when Frank Reich got fired, then Matt Eberflus got fired the next year, back-to-back, those years back-to-back. So not saying that's Thomas Brown's fault. He was, I believe, offensive coordinator at both of those stops.
Oh, okay.
So now, obviously, Frank Reich called the plays over there. See, for the Panthers, he was offensive coordinator. For the Bears, he was passing game coordinator. Then Eberflus fired his offensive coordinator. He became offensive coordinator. Then Eberflus got fired, and then he became interim head coach for the Chicago Bears last year. That all happened last year for the Bears. Oh, wow. So now he's passing game coordinator and tight ends coach down at the New England Patriots. But he's been a guy that's I would take on this coaching staff at some point if it was deemed a fit with whoever the offensive coordinator is. No real ties that I can see with some of the guys that are in the running for offensive coordinator, but sometimes that doesn't matter. You just hire the best coach sometimes.
Yeah, I'd be cool with T. Martin as the quarterback's coach for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's what he was with the Ravens, right? I know he's coached receivers too before as well on his coaching journey.
He did.
Quarterbacks last year with the Ravens, though, I think.
Yeah, I think he's coached both at the Ravens, right?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, he did. So he was wide receivers coach from 21-22, and then quarterbacks coach from 2023 to now. So, and then also he was at USC. He was an offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach for USC from 2016 to 2018. He was at USC for a while. He was also at the University of Tennessee assistant head coach and wide receivers coach before going to Baltimore. So there you go.
Yeah, but he has a little bit of a connection there with Harbaugh.
Yeah, he does. He got interviewed for someone else's offensive coordinator position too recently.
This year?
Yeah, this year. I can't remember. Maybe that was with the Lions, maybe, and they've already filled their spot. But that is a guy that it seems eventually he'll be an offensive coordinator at some point. Not saying that he needs to be the offensive coordinator here, but I think he's a guy with a good pedigree of coaching that, you know, that you could really probably mold into something. Like if he was your quarterback's coach, I would be pretty happy with that here. That would be a good one. That could be a guy that you do groom behind someone. So I'm definitely way okay with that. Now, obviously, University of Tennessee fans would probably be way okay with that. Put butts in the seats, I guess, as you'd say. Let's go to Leland in Spring Hill. Leland, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I want to go back on the receiver thing when y'all talking about Aiyuk. He reminds me too much of Calvin Ridley, someone who had a lot of drama coming into Tennessee and just came off an injury. I just don't think we need another 29, 30-year-old receiver to come in and it takes a lot of our caps so we can just not pay out our rookies that we just don't do a lot.
I mean, I really don't. I understand that. I don't disagree that that's a reasonable way to kind of look at it. Did you have anything else? Because I know you'd been on hold for a while.
Yeah. We could also go draft Carnell Tate and go to the Bills and see what they want for Keon Coleman, try to add 2 receivers to our group. And then we need Chig with Gunnar Helm, in my opinion, because those two made a great tight end duo this last year, in my opinion. I think they look really good together.
Yeah, I think my thing is, Leland, with the Carnell Tate stuff is I don't see a wide receiver worth the number 4 overall pick. I mean, I'm not completely done with my tape study, but I've seen enough to kind of come to that conclusion that number 4 overall, not. Now, you trade back, I'd be interested in Carnell Tate then, but the number 4 overall pick, I'm just not really sold. I'm really leaning into, with the way that Robert Saleh kind of does his defensive line, really leaning into, I feel like Reuben Bain is probably going to be the pick because you got Ruben Bain, Tavondre Sweat, Big Jeff, and one other guy on that defensive line. And we know that Ruben Bain can also stand up a little bit. And I'm interested to see his measurables. I know he got announced for the Senior Bowl today.
Oh, did he?
He did, but let's be honest. I've seen a lot of these big name announcements after a championship game, and none of them ever practice a Senior Bowl. They usually just go down there for the interviews, and then that's about it. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. I hope he does. I hope I'm wrong. But him, D'Angelo Pons, and Mesidor are three guys that I'm very interested in watching, but I don't know if after the championship game if they're actually going to practice.
What about the kid from Texas Tech?
Oh, I'm all in on David Bailey. Mm-hmm. But I'm just thinking...
Fourth pick is too high?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm just thinking Bain seems like a guy that Robert Saleh is really going to hit it off with. Not to say that he couldn't hit it off with other people, just on the outset. I don't know. It just seems like a Robert Saleh kind of pick and Mike Berganzi kind of pick. Like, it just seems like that. Like, they're probably going to be a little bit more of a 4-3 defense than what we have seen. Now, obviously, they're going to do 3-4, be multiple and all that, but, the identity and philosophical approach will be 4-3. And I'm just thinking, man, if you have Bain, Simmons, and Sweat, and you get to move them around any way that you want, that'd be pretty good. Be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, he's got to be the number one guy on the board, so I don't know if you're going to pass him up. I mean, it seems too perfect, and that's why I'm just hesitant because it's just like that just sounds way too good. Somehow, some way, we're going to trade out.
Well, I mean, there's also like less quarterbacks, right? There's less quarterbacks too.
I get what you this draft is no elite level receiver, so you start looking at the needs of the Titans. They need a pass rusher, so who's in that box? And it seems like Bain is at the top of the list. So I want to see him at the Senior Bowl, not just on the game and doing interviews. I want to see him going against guys because I want to see if his length and everything else becomes a part of the equation.
And I will say he will put the highlights up on there, right? Because he's a violent rusher. He's obviously got strength. So you're going to see the highlights if he does practice. I just don't. I'm not getting my hopes up on Ruben Bain actually practicing. Right. But what happens in the other parts, like, the one-on-ones, he'll likely
he does
dominate one-on-ones. But then when you get into other drills, does he actually show up, continue to show up, and all that kind of stuff? One-on-ones are a little skewed in my mind, kind of like wide receiver versus DBs one-on-ones. They're oftentimes a little skewed one way or the other. We'll see.
Well, which way is it skewed? What way?
Well, I feel like at the Senior Bowl specifically, and that's all I'm talking about. Senior Bowl, not other one-on-one. It's skewed towards the wide receivers.
No, I'm talking about D-line.
Oh, I think it's skewed towards the D-line a lot. At least so, and maybe just the D-line, ever since I've been there, has been more dominant. But it really feels like the D-line, because it's kind of like you can get away with a lot that's really not probably going to happen in a game. It's like the TikTok routes that you see on the Senior Bowl reps one-on-ones. They take like 30 steps before they actually get into the route.
But like
that's not really going to happen in the NFL.
I know, but coaches will see that, though, that are there.
Right.
Like they don't fall for that stuff.
So what are you saying?
Players still just do it?
Pass rush.
Yeah, they still do it. I mean,
they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the coaches are fooled by it or anything.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how does it favor the D line. How does that?
And maybe, like I said, it's just like for me, it's maybe the defensive line has always kind of just dominated these last few Senior Bowls that I've been to. And maybe that's a talent thing. But typically, I've seen the defensive line win more reps than not on most of these issues. I don't know. We'll see. But I would be interested to see what Ruben Bain's able to do.
Ooh. Man, that's only a week. He probably won't do too much of anything besides interviews.
If we get one day of practice, that's enough.
I mean, you're projected as a top 10 pick. And then
top
you just
5,
really. Well, I'm just putting that in there.
He put such a good game on tape the other night too.
Like every playoff game,
I'm exhausted right now. I can't even go in and train. I mean, what are we asking me here to do? I got to get ready for the combine. Is he going to run?
Oh man,
he could just be a pro day guy.
I bet
honestly.
he would. I don't think. Here's my guess. Here's my guess on Ruben Bain. My probably way too early guess is that he'll do the agilities, not the long speed. because he's got a bend. He's got a wicked bend to him. And I bet he does that stuff and maybe not the 40-yard dash and stuff like that. I bet he'll do the agility drills.
Anybody in the NFL he reminds you of?
A lot of people say Brandon Graham. I don't know if I necessarily see that. Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily see that. I see a lot in his game like I saw from Big Jeff this year.
That's a D tackle. That's not the same position.
It's maybe going to be the same position.
So then if you're the Titans, why do you have 3 D tackles?
Well, I think that you can maneuver them around. and to be honest, game's won in the trenches. But I don't think all of them have to play inside at the same time, if you get what I'm saying, obviously.
No, but I mean, you got 3 D tackles.
They're probably going to be 3 hands in the dirt.
I think it's hard, at least right now, to move Sweat around. But Jeff, certainly. Bane,
right.
But in a 4-3, I mean, you got Sweat paired up with another guy in a 4-3 in the middle of that defense. That's I don't know. I get pretty excited thinking about that.
So let's say Bane on the outside, Jeff on the outside, Sweat on the inside with Sebastian Joseph Day?
Yeah, that's who. I don't know if that guy's on the roster, maybe, but Sebastian Joseph Day, maybe.
Jalen Harrell might be rotating some. You can't forget about
he's
Femi
on the outside.
either.
Femi.
Femi?
Oh. Well,
maybe they just add some weight to him. I don't know. A lot of moving pieces we could see.
Sounds interesting.
Listen, I'm not holding my breath, but man, I sure would love. I know because everybody's, obviously I saw it today on Twitter, and everybody's like, "Oh man, what a guy that's going to compete." No, that's what everybody's saying. They're all saying nobody loves football more than Ruben Bain. He's coming down here to compete at the Senior Bowl. And I get that most of these scouts and these analysts are probably just hyping up the Senior Bowl. If he actually competes, I would be very surprised. I'd be very happy and very surprised.
Oh, I want to see him and Bailey out there. Because a lot of people, because he's that, Bain is built very thick, especially the lower body. And a lot of people, and I hate to do this, is saying he's like Freeney. And I'm like, ooh, that's a tough one because he had kind of short arms, but he had the devastating spin move. Haven't seen Bain do a spin move, but he is being coached by Mr.
I've seen him
Taylor.
do 2 or 3, but not much.
With the
for college,
2 hands, swipe the 1 hand. I mean,
he ain't no Freeney. But for a college, edge rusher, I think since Donovan Ezeraku was kind of this way last year, but he wasn't as flashy as David Bailey. David Bailey is a complete edge rusher.
Yeah.
With moves, pass rush moves.
Oh, I know.
I love me some David Bailey. I would not.
I know. Who you picking?
I don't care.
That's what I kept saying. Bain or Bailey.
I mean, personally, I would probably go Bailey, but I'm also thinking of a traditional edge rusher and not everything that you could do with Bain. But I just love David Bailey. I think he does everything you need. And these people started off saying that he was like, oh, he's just going to be a designated pass rusher. And then by the end of the season, they all changed their mind and were like, oh, no, he could play the run.
Who's the better pass rusher?
Oh, David Bailey.
Yep.
And that shows up on tape.
That's who we should take.
I'm with you. Yeah. Okay, we're a David Bailey show.
Yeah.
We
like Bain, but I mean, I think we need a pass rusher. Get after the quarterback.
There you go. All right, when we come back, we're going to go to the phone, 615-737-1045. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone.
Bain Bailey. One of the marks of good parent is that they warn their kids about danger, of course, what to do and who to trust and how to avoid danger, of course, and then how to make smarter choices. Hey, folks, it's Blaine Bishop for Eurofix. And Eurofix repairs European vehicles. And Eurofix believes in warning their customers, too. In one case, Eurofix wrote a $5,500 refund check to a customer. And you said, who does that? Eurofix polices themselves. That's who does that. Eurofix. And why? Because not every auto shop tells you the full story. Some oversell, others cut corners, and some just may not know what to do. So you could pay for more than, your repairs than you really need to. And Eurofix makes quality repairs at below dealer pricing and has been since 1999. You also get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection and a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work Eurofix performs. And rental cars are available with every appointment. So make sure you stay on the road and off the freaking tow truck. And that's what Eurofix will provide. Family owned locally for over a quarter century. 5 locations and more to come here in Tennessee. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can check them out online at myeurofix.com. That's myeurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Got phone calls rolling in, but we'll start off with Larissa. Larissa, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hi, guys. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
Outstanding. And I was saying today, I said, you know what? I'm so not looking forward to this weekend. No disrespect to meteorologists. I would take it seriously. They're the only folks that can be 90% wrong and they still keep their jobs. But now there's apparently there really is a snowstorm coming, so everybody go to the grocery store. But I digress. Yeah, so thank you for being my therapist, everybody. But I just want to say Robert Saleh strikes me as the type of person that, I mean, he's already got a lineup and a strategy. He seems like he's not that type of person that goes in cold, you know. And although, he did have Aaron Rodgers in New York, and that's a whole different type of bird. So, but his journey here in Tennessee is going to be completely different, I'm sure, in every way. But what about Cliff Kingsbury? Not many people have mentioned him, and if so, I didn't hear it. He developed Pat Mahomes, and was it Jaden? He's developed a few quarterbacks. So what about him as the OC? I mean, just throwing that out there, but I'm guessing that Saleh's probably got his lineup. And also a quick question, and Blaine, you probably know a little more about this. When a new coach comes in, does everyone get replaced? Like even the equipment managers?
Oh, no.
Those are important those are important positions too.
No doubt.
How does that work?
Nah, typically they keep the same guys. Now the trainers and other things like that possibly. But,
okay, so they don't do the rooter tutor and hold 9 yards. Everybody doesn't go. Here's your check and thank you for your service.
No,
that's good.
It's just
I was wondering how that works. But I'm gonna hang up and listen to you guys. Everybody, stay warm.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
So
I know you're the expert on the Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah,
Give us the lowdown.
To me, Cliff Kingsbury feels much like a mercenary hire, and the reason I say that is because it's like get him for 1 year, then let him go. Because we haven't ever seen Cliff Kingsbury have sustained success with his style of offense.
How long was he at Arizona as a head coach?
4 years, and he left with a sub 500 record.
So if he gives us 2 good years, and then
I would be fine with it. Like he has a high play action rate over at Washington. I mean, he did play action 27.5% of the time. His no huddle rate 62% of the time.
Oh.
So 62% of their plays were run out of the no huddle formation, which is a cool thing, right? I mean, I say cool because it requires the defense to stay on the field and all that kind of stuff, but it also keeps your defense back on the field quicker.
Well, if you don't get first downs.
Right, if you don't get first downs.
Yeah.
And he does run a lot from shotgun. 73.6% of his snaps were from shotgun. Only 9.2% of the snaps were under center.
What was his ratio of shotgun runs versus pass?
I would not be able to find that quick enough, but I will try to effort that real quick. But I do think that there is something there for him because he does do a lot of 11 personnel, does do a lot of 12 personnel. I mean, he does keep it diversified in personnel groupings. But I would be a little concerned with the amount of no huddle. But Robert Saleh tried to get Cliff Kingsbury to come be some kind of offensive staff member when they got Nathaniel Hackett. He was one of the names mentioned yesterday in that article that we found due to our caller. Was it Michael or Matthew? But I just get a little concerned about the cliff. Like it just seems his offenses fall off a cliff a little bit.
Well,
but I'm not going to be totally against it.
Right, yeah. I think what happens is I think people figure out what his stick is, and then he doesn't continue to evolve and adjust. Maybe that's it. I'm just guessing there because he always starts off really well every place he's gone, and, even in college. And then all of a sudden it seems like they figure it out, and then he kind of He needs to make some adjustments along the way. Does he have a lot of motion and?
So they use 52.2% motion. Now that was over the last 2 years combined.
I remember him using a good bit in Arizona.
So that's the last 2 years combined. For record, the Tennessee Titans last year used 53.1% motion, but that really kicked into high gear once Brian Callahan left the building. They started using more and more motion as the year went on. So yeah. So I mean, he's obviously a modern offensive coordinator.
I remember somebody said they called in and said he's always with running quarterbacks.
That's what I was going to say. Like that would be my one concern is we don't, that matchup with him and Cam could be a little because he's used to quarterbacks taking off a lot.
But are all these quarterbacks here? I don't know if this is true or not. A guy on the chat here, Adam Weber, 1545, Case Keenum, Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield, Davis Webb, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, some of these were from his college days.
Right, of course.
So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much who he's pretty much all worked with. Now, how much did he work with Caleb Williams? We don't really know because he was just a senior offensive analyst.
Gotcha.
I'm sure he did work with Caleb Williams, but how much of that was there needed because you had Lincoln Riley already and an offensive coordinator. He wasn't a play caller at USC. He was there. I mean, he was on the staff, but that's about all you can say.
Oh, I know somebody was on that staff.
Well, there you go.
And they said Caleb Williams was a different breed. They said he was totally left. This guy was a pro coach, college coach, and he was on the defensive side, by the way. And he said he was different. He'd get there at 4 or 5 a.m. Like he hadn't seen anything like this in college, especially his play. He was stunned that he wasn't better his first year, and then we saw what he did this year. So, that'd be Greg Brown.
There you go. So, getting the answer to your question here. From earlier.
Oh, as far as pass, run, and shotgun?
Yeah.
I think that's a tip in the pros because it's hard a lot of run plays are kind of set when you're in shotgun, so you kind of can get tips on what they are. So I just wanted to kind of look at that a little bit. Yes.
Okay, so in 2025, Washington passed from shotgun 64.2% of the time. So this was 2025, meaning 45, my math's right, 45.8 in the run.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2024, when the offense was much better and obviously Jaden Daniels was healthy the whole year, they passed 59.4% of the time to shotgun. So that went down with Jaden Daniels. Now, obviously, you also lead in a lot of those games, and I don't think they were leading in as many games as they were in this year. So obviously, the pass number could be skewed by that as well. But 59.4% of the time, so that would be 40.6, if my math is correct.
Good job.
Did it pretty good of runs.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Ross said you're welcome to help you with the math.
That would be 35.8.
I fed it in his ear right before he said it.
Yeah. Well, I messed up because that was definitely 35.8 on the first one.
I called that one.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it would be the worst. I'm definitely open to it.
Certainly not the worst thing.
Yeah. Of all the options, I mean, hey, there's solid options out here.
Cliff Kingsbury, Mike LaFleur, Brian Daboll, and Art Smith all have different ties or connections that have been mentioned. Now, Brian Daboll's the only real one that has been promoted as having real tangible interest from both sides in the job. When we say Art, LaFleur, and Cliff, Art, the connection is obviously ownership, but also, again, referencing that article from yesterday, where he wanted to bring in people. And when Nathaniel Hackett got hired, Art Smith and Cliff Kingsbury were two of those guys. So that obviously means that he valued their opinion enough to bring them onto a staff where there was already an offensive coordinator and trying to create a position for them. Now, they both took offensive coordinating, play calling jobs in 2024. Good for them. And then the other one is Mike LaFleur, who is obviously the Jets' offensive play caller from 2021 to 2022 when Robert Saleh first took over at the New York Jets.
Do you think there's a possibility that you can sign both of them? And who do you think is going to take the back seat? Do you put Arthur Smith as LC or quarterbacks coach and then make the other guy The one way, like that's where do you put him? If you're trying, like he shows a tie to both of these guys. And if he wanted to bring both, now you're grooming maybe Arthur Smith to be the OC incoming. Maybe he would do it because of his, tie to the organization. And Cliff Kingsbury's trying to get that next, big job and wants, the OC title. Or do you just kind of play it out and say, who's more desperate to get the title?
Ooh, okay, so.
Or do you think it could even coexist?
I think it could coexist.
Okay.
But I think if any other year, I'd be more willing to entertain the idea, only because there's 14 offensive coordinator positions open.
Yeah, but they're not tied to you anywhere. Outside of the guys you mentioned.
I mean, Art's gotten a few. Well, what I'm saying is Art's gotten a few interviews. Don't know if Cliff's even taken an interview or anything. I know he's gotten requests.
So quarterback coach?
Yeah. LaFleur has been rumored to stay in the ranks.
Right. Yeah.
And so that would leave maybe you could bring in Brian Daboll and Art Smith. And I think the biggest thing for me with Art Smith that tempts me the most about maybe bringing him back to Tennessee is that can you get Mike Munchak back with him? And also, he also has ties to Dwayne Lefford, who was just let go for Bill Callahan over at Atlanta. He gave Dwayne Lefford that job over in Atlanta.
Oh, well, he can use that to leverage to bring over with him.
That's what I'm saying. Art Smith has two ties to two exceptional. Now, Mike Munchak's been out of the league for a while, but I'm willing to say that Mike Munchak is a really, really good offensive line coach.
Oh, yeah. Outstanding.
But those are two guys that Art Smith has ties to bring over for offensive line coach. And those are two pretty big hires, like two big names that we have seen work away from with Tennessee and away from Tennessee. Because Mike Munchak, what he did at Denver, do not forget, and the Steelers.
Yeah.
Like, that dude can coach. It's not like the Bill Callahan thing where he gets called O-line Jesus. Like, Mike Munchak may be O-line God, I don't know. But, like, we've seen it here firsthand. We've seen him have success other places and maintain the same level of success. No real drop-off outside of maybe injuries. We've seen Dwayne Ledford do the stuff over Atlanta. The most unheralded offensive line coach, it feels like. That dude is legit. And if you could bring those guys in, maybe that is enough to kind of change the whole dynamic of what Art is able to do because he didn't have those guys at Pittsburgh.
Right. So here's what I'm proposing is Arthur's OC, the guy from O-line from the Falcons, and you make Cliff the quarterback's coach because he's desperate to get another job.
I would be in on that. We'll talk more about the offensive coordinators as we continue. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've been talking about the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator position. Not a lot of news happening today, but I will say, obviously, Brian Callahan is interviewing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a second time today.
Oh, second time.
Zach Robinson is also in Tampa Bay today, the former offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, for his in-person interview for the Buccaneers job. Brian Callahan actually goes tomorrow, not today. But
Mr. Nagy.
Mr. Nagy has gotten an interview request to go interview with the Philadelphia Eagles for their offensive coordinator spot. So I think just reading actions that possibly Matt Nagy as offensive coordinator, while it was a cool thought, likely is not going to happen here at the Tennessee Titans. But you never know.
It was a cool thought.
It was a cool thought. I think some people thought it was a cool thought.
Well, speaking of OC, I wanted to ask you a little bit about RPOs and who compared Ward running RPOs last year to if a coach would come in and think that would be good for Cam Ward.
I don't think so.
Do you remember the percentage? It was a low number.
It was a low number of RPOs. I just don't. I don't know. I kind of look at it and think that I know that a lot of people said that they ran a lot of RPOs in Miami.
Daboll, he did
he did a lot of RPOs with Dart and Allen. I mean, that was kind of like a lot for the longest time. People called Josh Allen an RPO merchant, but
they call him everything nowadays.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I just am not sure if RPOs are a necessity for the success of Cam Ward. I think that when you kind of look at him, I think it's a little bit more about embracing the freedom of Cam Ward, his play style. And I do think Brian Daboll is very good at that. In fact, I don't know if you saw my tweet today, but I posted a quote from this article that we haven't got into, typical of us, but we'll get into it tomorrow. Was Daboll is encouraging Josh Allen to follow his base instincts. If Josh wants to play hero ball, then why are we building in all of these quick rhythm throws from a whole bunch of personnel groupings? Let's just lean into the Superman style. And basically what he learned was in 2018, 2019, there's a funny story in here that we were trying to bring in all and incorporate all of this stuff from his college days. And then we kind of woke up and said, wait a minute, he wasn't very good in college. So if he couldn't do this stuff in college, what makes us think that we could do it in the NFL? And so they kind of it changed the entire offense from 2019 to 2020 in terms of they just spread it. They're just going to put 4 or 5 wide receivers on the field. Sometimes those are tight ends as wide receivers. And we're just going to spread it out, and we're going to make you beat us. And guess what? When we run out of spread, we're going to average 6.5 yards per carry out of spread. Now, is that the way to do it with Cam Ward? I don't know, but Brian Daboll did. In fact, remember, Giants wanted to trade up for Cam Ward. So obviously he already likes Cam Ward, and B, had a plan for how to utilize Cam Ward, and I don't think it's the same plan for Jackson Dart. I don't think Jackson Dart, Josh Allen, and Cam Ward are the same type of quarterback. And so when you talk about RPOs and all that stuff, I think they'll use more RPOs, but I'm not entirely sure that
what would you call his style of offense? That's what I'm trying to get to. Is I think,
don't know. In Miami, it was a power spread offense. Power spread. It's kind of similar to what you saw with Carson Beck this year. It's a power spread, a little bit pro spread, power spread offense. And I think listen, Brian Daboll has experience in all kinds of different offenses.
Well, has that worked in the NFL? We know what it can do in college.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, who did I recently see had I think so
we're talking about one offense
would be, well, I mean, I don't know every offense off the top of my head, but
I don't think there's a lot.
There's not a lot. I mean, because there's so many Shanahan guys, right?
Right.
I think Daboll, what you would kind of call what Daboll did in Buffalo, more power spread than what he did probably with the New York Giants.
Okay.
I would say that I think Todd Monken embraced that a little bit with Lamar Jackson.
But it was more a little read option. I'm not sure they use a ton of pass element to that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I think our biggest issue to me the last 2 years with RPOs hasn't been like the quarterback play behind it, or even Cam this year. It's been the perimeter. Multiple
receivers.
Lots of guys confused. The perimeter blocking, we've talked about a lot, has been atrocious on RPOs. That's stuff you can coach, obviously, but I wonder, could it be better under Daboll if we got him than what we've seen the last 2 years? You would think so, but again, it may not be a style fit for Cam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say, but though that would probably fit best with Cam. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the Mike McDaniel offense, I think you got to start lean into the deep shots and all this stuff. I don't know if right now, because there's a difference, right? There's a difference between the Josh Allen of 2020 and 2021 and even 2018, 2019, obviously. There's a difference between that Josh Allen and this Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we kind of have to understand and I know we do, but the people need to understand there's a difference between what Cam Ward is right now, what Cam Ward can be later on down the road. And if you're trying to lean into his strengths right now, I kind of feel like you could get by with an air raid offense, but again, we've seen the air raid offense kind of peter out. Mm-hmm. And that's reference to Cliff Kingsbury. You can get by with probably a power spread for a longer amount of time. At least that's what Brian Daboll showed he was capable of doing for at least a few years. But at some point, you have to start, he has to also embrace the other elements of that, right? Being under center and the play action and all that kind of stuff from under center. And that's where you got to get to. I don't think I'm not saying he couldn't do it this year, but if we're trying to get off the ground running, blast off 0 to 10, you got to start thinking about adapting the offense around the quarterback that you got. And Brian Daboll can do that. So my assumption is a power spread would work pretty well with Cam Ward. But maybe Brian Daboll has a different idea because we've seen him work. I mean, he's worked in the Earnhardt-Perkins system, which is, basically your Patriots system, right? I mean, that's what he grew up in. But then he worked over in Alabama and adapted some college stuff, and then he did the power, kind of a spread option or spread with over there with the Buffalo. And then you got the RPO, a little bit of RPO, more RPO heavy with Daniel Jones and Jackson Dart. And so he's been able to do all kinds of different things. And that's why I do kind of like the background of Brian Daboll, because he has a very diverse background of offensive systems to pull from.
And Blaine, one thing that intrigues me about that, if Chig comes back, would mean he's likely not attached to the line as much as we've seen him. Probably split out a little bit. So there's, a lot of stuff to work with some of the pieces we already have.
Gotcha. Like it.
Yeah, because, you got the Patriots dink and dunk system that he's obviously familiar with. Earnhardt Perkins, veer and shoot, a true spread option. These are just some of the things that this guy had listed that we have seen throughout the years. And so, I think Brian Daboll would be able to.
I think he adapts it to their skill set.
Yeah.
What works
and not just him, but the players that he also has across the way. Yeah, not just Cam Ward.
So players over plays?
Yes.
Yeah. I would say that Brian Daboll is that guy. Even if he may not be a Y guy, I think he's already that guy that adapts. You get what I'm saying? Let's go to Darren to close us out. Darren, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
From the Wood.
Hey, guys. Kind of a two-part question, kind of plays off each question. With a defensive-minded head coach in the building now, how much do you think that affects the draft? First of all, with Bain out there and needing a pass rusher and a cornerback, things like that. Secondly, how much say do you predict that Bergonzi is going to give up with Saleh as far as that draft process is going to go? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. I think obviously your head coach has certain levels of influence, but it's obviously going to be Bergonzi the whole way through. I think just at this point in time, you have so many needs, and the biggest needs are really at the number 4 spot, really kind of line up with 2 defensive players. And I think that's just kind of how the draft's going to shake out. I know a lot of people will say, well, Robert Saleh, defensive head coach, of course we're going to get defense. I just think the way that the draft is shaken out anyway, barring a trade back, if you're at number 4, I think it's going to be defense regardless.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think it influences it at all. I think you got to look at what's needed. He's coming in, so he's going to kind of listen to everybody else. It needs a big-time pass rusher. They go, hey, well, this is the best one on the board. Whatever one you guys choose, I'm good with. I can work with any of them. If we had an offensive coach, I think they'd still be saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm kind of with you. Like you may
because this draft, how it's built, there's no elite level receiver. I mean,
the one elite level receiver is injured.
Always injured all the time. Yeah,
and I would say that also, like Jeremiah Love is obviously still in play, not just because you have a defensive head coach, but could also he's the best player in the draft.
Yeah, and so they could lean into the running back too.
They could lean in the running game. All right, that'll do it for us. We'll talk more Tennessee Titans tomorrow. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.
Mangini.